Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 Hour to make the best game ever. Okay, so let's see what is new here. Nothing. Okay. Before we jump to moving more things, how about we pick up this one here again, which has been sitting here for 3 weeks. Yeah. Let's see. Mhm. 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 Okay, and then we go to this one here. Rebase. Okay, so add contribute document. Okay, let's mhm. Contribute. Okay, so okay, I think the first we do is rename it to contributing. Parentheses. Contribute. Okay. Rename contribute to contributing. Okay, that's the first one. Next, parentheses. Where's this? Parentheses. Parentheses. Okay. Okay, fixed. Resolve. Block comment sample. Optionally, the pull request ID can be appended to the comments. One, two, three. comments. Optionally, the pull request number can be appended to the comments. Noted. This can only be done after the pull request, has been created. Notice. Maybe add a small section that if contributing to fix a report issue, maybe put the link to that issue. Maybe add a small section. Maybe put the link to that issue. To write the link. That's here closes 333. Common links are for closing. Maybe we can. Used for closing another. Common links are used for closing another report or requests. Closing another report or requests when the request is merged. When a report or another request, closing a report or another pull request when this pull request is merged. Let's make this 2 entries. Closing another pull request when this pull request is merged. Closing a related issue report or task. Related issue report or task when this pull request is merged. things are commonly used for closing related issue report or task when this pull request is met. Noted. Okay. How about we add 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3. Okay, how about we remove these numbers? Code documentation. Zero hour takes precedence. Scope of code changes, style of code changes. Precedence of code changes. Zero hour takes 0 hour changes to 0 hour take precedence over generals. As long as when code is split, when code is not shared, when the changed code is not shared by both titles, then the change needs to be created for 0 hour first, and then recreated for generals. Change code is not shared by both titles, and the change needs to be created for 0 hour first and then recreated for generals, and work the behavior the implementation of a change needs to be identical or as close as possible or as close as possible, and change needs to be identical or change for both titles needs to be identical or as close as possible. it for 0 hour first and then recreate it for generals. The implementation of a change for both titles needs to be identical or as close as possible. Preferably the 0 hour the general's replica of a change comes in the same. Preferably, the general's replica of a change comes with the same pull request, but it is not required. The general's replica can be created after the 0 hour code review is satisfied or is concluded, has finished. Changes to 0 hour, take preference over generals if applicable. Let's change can be created after the 0 hour code review is. Consistent use of title case. How to contribute as a developer. How to what is wrong there? How to contribute as a developer. Make contributions, fork and clone this report. To contribute, fork and clone this repository. How to contribute? Why is this uppercase? I don't understand. Does he want like this code guidelines? Documentation. code documentation. Per request documentation. Change log documentation. Fixed. Why? Removed numbers. Numbers removed. Contributing fixed. Per request documentation. The currently established commit. The currently established commit tags are GenZH core. Let's see, make GitHub Linux. That should be added to the top of the text body. That's right. All commits of the pull need to be properly named and need the number of the pull request added as a suffix. Parentheses. All commits need to be able to compile on their own without dependencies. Without dependencies. New commits. Prefer to create changes for squasher meshes. This will simplify. New section. Pull request documentation. Pull request merging. Please be mindful. Please be mindful when merging changes. There are some pitfalls in regards to the commit titles. To commit title consistencies. To the commit title consistency. So there are pitfalls in regards to the commit title consistency. When attempting to squash and merge, a pull request with a single commit, then GitHub will assume, will autofill, attempting to squash and merge a pull request with a pull request that contains a single commit, then GitHub will autofill the default generate a commit title attempting to squash and merge a pull request that contains a single commit, then GitHub will default generate a commit title from that single commit. It may be typically this is undesired when the commit title is meant to be kept in sync with the pull request title rather than the pull request commit title. Manual edit will be necessary when attempting to squash and merge a pull request that contains multiple commits, then GitHub will default generate a commit title from the pull request title. Additionally, it will generate a commit description from the multiple commits that are part of the pull request. Clear the commit, clear that generated commit description before merging the pull request. Clear. Typically, this is undesired when the commit title is meant to be kept in sync. When the new commit title is kept in sync. that generated commit description should be cleared before merging the pull request. The generated commit description should be cleared before merging the pull request to keep the commit titles clean. When attempting to rebase and merge pull requests, then when attempting to rebase and merge a pull request, then all commits will assume that all commits will transfer with the same names to the main line, to the main branch. Make sure that all commit titles are properly set up, properly crafted with tags when applicable, and pull request numbers in parentheses. And no unnecessary commit descriptions. Texts underneath, texts below the commit title. Needs to be cleared. Generally needs to be cleared before merging the pull request to keep the commit titles clean. Commit title clean. The generated commit title needs to be adjusted when necessary. verify. Currently established commit tags. Commit title tags. Fixed. Added. Noted. Resolve. Title case. Resolve. Code edits only touch the lines of code that serve the intended goal of the change. Bit refactors should not be combined with logical change because these can become very difficult to review. If a change requires a refactor, create a commit for the refactor before or after creating a commit for the change. A pull request can contain multiple commits and must be merged with pull request. A pull request can contain multiple commits and must a pull request can contain multiple commits and scope of contention. Can contain multiple and needs and can be merged with rebase if these commits are meant to be preserved on the main branch. Otherwise the regular methods of merging will be squash and merge. This is actually now called rebase and merge. Merging is squash and merge. Code edits only touch the lines of code, blah, 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 blah. A pull request can contain multiple commits and can be merged with merge and rebase if these commits are meant to be preserved on the main branch. Otherwise, the regular method of merging is squash and merge. Code edits should fit the nearby code in ways that the code style reads consistent, unless the original code style is bad. The original game code uses C++98 or a deviation thereof and is simple to read. Prefer not to use new fancy language features where not absolutely necessary to get a particular change done. Changes to 0 hour take precedence over generals if applicable. When the change code is not shared by both titles, then the change needs to be created for 0 hour first and then recreated for generals. The implementation of a change for both titles needs to be identical or as close as possible. Preferably, the general's replica of a change comes with the same pull request. The general's replica can be created after the 0 hour code review has finished. User-facing changes need to be documented in code, pull requests, and change logs. All documentation is written in the present tense and not the past. Good. Fixes particle effects. Bad. Fix particle effect. When the text refers to a faction unit, structure, upgrade, or similar, then the unit should be worded without any abbreviations and should be prefixed with a faction name. Valid faction names are USA, China, GLA, Boss, Civilian. Subfaction names can be appended to, for example, GLA Stealth. Good. Fixes particle effect of USA. Metal Defender. Bad. Fixes particle effect of MD. Code documentation. User-facing changes need to be accompanied by comments where the change is made. Maintenance-related changes such as compilation fixes typically do not need commenting unless the next reader can benefit from a special explanation. The comment can be put at the beginning of the change class, function, or block. Let's say at the changed file, class, function, or block. It must be clear from the change description what has changed. The expected comment format is Superhackers, keyword, author, day, month, year, and meaningful description for this change. Superhackers word and keyword are mandatory. Author and date can be omitted. Block comments. Optionally, the pull request number can be appended to the comment. This can only be done after the pull request has been created. If the pull request is meant to be merged with rebase, then a note for merge with rebase should be added to the top of the text body. Just rebase or rebase and merge. It should be added to the top of the text body to help identify the correct merge action when it is ready for merge. All commits of the pull request need to be all commits of the pull request need to be properly named and need the number of the pull request added as a suffix in parentheses. Example, all commits need to be able to compile on their own without dependencies. Pull request documentation. The text body begins with links to related. The text body continues with a description of the change in appropriate detail. This serves to educate reviewers and visitors to get a good understanding of the change without the need to study and understand the associated changed files. If the change is controversial or affects the gameplay in a considerable way, then a rational text needs to be appended. The rationale explains why the given change makes sense. Pull request merging rules. Please be mindful when merging changes. There are pitfalls in regards to the commit title consistency. When attempting to squash and merge a pull request that contains a single commit, then GitHub will default generate a commit title from that single commit. Typically, this is undesired when the new commit title is meant to be kept in sync with the pull request title rather than the pull request commit title. The generated commit title needs to be adjusted when necessary. So we adjust it when necessary before merging. Needs to be adjusted before merging when necessary. will generate commit description from the multiple commits. Generally needs to be cleared before merging the pull request. Before merging the pull request. Needs to be adjusted. Let's say the generated commit title may need to be adjusted before merging the pull request. With tags where applicable, pull request numbers in parentheses. Say trailing pull request numbers in parentheses and no unnecessary commit descriptions. Okay. Serve say fix review comments, add more infos. Let's see how that looks. View file. Okay, I think that's good for starters. Oops. Now all comments addressed. Okay, what's the time? 50. Okay, so that's good. Let's see what the next notifications are. Didn't pick up the granny stuff in the header file, even when I had a textual search. Okay. Why do they need more looking at? Let me see. Is Granny. Oh, Jesus Christ. Asset Manager, CPP. Because it's coloring code. Uniquing. What? I see. Well, why can't he just... Can't he just, like, remove... Maybe just remove it all. Okay, this looks good. Init, return true. Oh, amazing. Three, 39. Yeah, looks identical. Looks proper. I'm unable to figure out how to get this to work. I can't even get your code to work. Well, that's not good. Not surprising. Memory management is brittle. Good. Every day is Windows Day. because every day, because every day is 0 hour day. What is the ETA to fix? What is the time estimation for the CI fix? Okay, then I think I will take a break now, and then afterwards we continue creating new branches and changes with moving more things piece by piece. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Good. Then I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.